Hello guys, welcome back to this week's weekly analysis. I think it's episode 5. I hope you all have had a fantastic weekend and are ready for a week in the markets. Now we're going to be running through AU, EU and GU as per usual. Might even chuck in NU as well. We'll see how we're doing for time because I don't want to make this a massively long video for you guys. So we're starting here on the daily on AU, and what we can see is we've got some sort of mishmash going on down here. So what we're going to look at, the entire leg of this move. So we can see that this whole move, we could say broke. Well, the last breaker structure we saw was up here. So we could safely say that this whole move from high to low is what we can class as the whole range. Okay. So ideally what we'd want to be seeing is for price to be coming back into the EQ at the very least of this daily swing range. But there are obviously a couple of areas in premium supply where it could look to have a reaction to. Obviously, number one being this area here. I've also got the extreme at the top here, which obviously is quite unlikely that we'll get there if we are continuing down. We do also have this unmitigated zone in here. Now, obviously, this is sometimes disregarded, but you should never disregard these sort of zones. I know they're wick zones, but they do tell a story on the lower time frames, okay? So we can actually say that from this wick to the start of this one is actually its own zone. And if we jot down to the 1 hour, you might be able to see what I'm talking about. So look at that on the hourly. That is actually a valid supply area, yeah, and you can say that this is inducement for that area. So never disregard these on the higher time frames because they do tell a picture on the lower time frames. Okay, so we can expect price to be heading into the EQ at some point, at the very least to this area here, this little supply area right here. We could be seeing price channel into at some stage. It could be doing it as we speak, and then when we look at it from this perspective, it looks all the more appealing for that to be the possibility into next week. So the reason I'm thinking that we could be coming to mitigate some of these zones, or at least one of them, is because if I just clear all of this, I just want to have a look at this sort of price action down here. So what we had was price came into this supply, which broke this low. So it is a significant area of supply. However, when we came back into this area, we didn't push and print a new low. So once we see this sort of formation from here, what we're expecting price to do next is we're expecting it to take out this low, or at least target it. But what we can see from price is that we've pushed down, looks to have mitigated some sort of demand in this wick before now we're now channeling up again to target and test the supply again, which tells me that this is actually now weak, and we could see a breakthrough it, which would channel price straight into our EQ supply. Yeah, so we could see something like that play out. Obviously time will tell, but this will probably be a good area to look for sells. In the meantime, if we drop down to the hourly, as you can see, supply is not in control as we speak. However, on the flip side, sorry, it's adjusting my seat. On the flip side, what we could be doing is mitigating this wick, because there was a massive move last week, some sort of news, and we had a massive move down. So we could be just mitigating this wick. It could just be that, but obviously we have to account for every scenario that we can see in front of us. So for me, I would expect to come up here before looking for sells. You could buy into it, but personally for me, unless it's a very, very solid setup, I don't really count a trend. So if you do look for buys, obviously you want to see this sort of level broken first, and then obviously from the low to the high, look for your discount areas and then take it from there. See if you get your low time from entry. But for me, I'll definitely be looking at this zone for some sells if we do get there. And yeah, that is it for AU. Just head on over to EU. So this paints a little bit of a different story. Obviously, we are still bearish, as we can see. And we just want to have a look at this price action in here, okay? Because this is the most recent. This is, you say, the latest chapter of the story. So we'll do our analysis like we normally would. Got our new structural low there, which you could say started from this area, actually really pushed down to this area, but we can say this is inducement for this zone. And then if we later structure confirm that this could be liquidity, which obviously it turned out to be, but we've got a similar situation to AU. So once we mitigate this supply, we're expecting the overall trend, we're expecting to target the overall low of EU, yeah? And you can see again, you can see some demand is being respected on the way up, which is interesting to say the least. Yeah, so we can see we've got a level in there, which tapped into, and then we had a level in there which got tapped into, and we're currently reacting from that. Now, again, this is very interesting because we've tapped into the supply, a strong premium, and we haven't pushed a new low, which is very concerning. So this now makes this area a weak area. So we can't rely on it for sells if we do come back up to this area. So we could now be seeing a channel up. We could also be seeing a move into, so if we take this whole entire move, so we've got our area number 1 here in our premium. We've also got the extreme premium up here, which we could be seeing price coming for now. That could be a possibility before we sell off. Obviously, we will see. If we do end up breaking some sort of structure on the internal, we'll probably be looking for buys if we get a prestige setup, because we have respected 2 levels of high time frame demand, and in that it tells a story that, you know, we're pushing up somewhere to do something. Obviously, what that main goal is, we'll find out later on in the week. Obviously, primarily, your buyers still should be sells on EU. Obviously, it's all dependent on how you trade, how you see things. But obviously, just looking at this price action, you know, we've been bearish for some time. So, you know, overall, I think we are going to be pushing down at some point, but I think it'll be a couple of days, even maybe a week or 2 before we start seeing that. Because I do think we're just mitigating some liquidity and taking some people out of their swings before we do so. But yeah, that's it on EU. We head on over to GU. Okay, so this is very interesting. So what we can see from GU is we've just reacted off a level of supply. Again, the same thing's happening. We're reacting off of the higher time frame supply, but we're not pushing and printing new lows, which is very concerning. It could mean that we are changing our direction now. So again, we're just going to outline the high to the low of the overall move, and you can see this supply was in premium, and you can see we tapped into it and we didn't print a new low. We respected this wick demand, we can see here, which respected this demand level down here. Yeah, so again, tells a story that demand is now in control for the time being. Again, we could just be mitigating some higher premium of this overall daily swing range. Obviously, again, time will tell. But yeah, for now, we're definitely bullish. These 2 areas confirm it. You know, obviously, for us to be looking for sells again, really want to be seeing some sort of strong break to the downside. Want to see this level not hold. We know it's strong because obviously once we tapped into this area, you can see we did print a new high, so this is actually a strong demand. So we could see some resistance before breaking, or we could see a push up to this high premium level on price. Obviously, again, time will tell. But that's it for GU. We'll see how it progresses through the week. And last but not least, NU. Let's clear my analysis of this. So NU looks a bit more promising. Now, I say that because we're more in line with structure on the higher time frame. There's not really any indication that we are diverting from this bearish trend at the moment. So again, we'll just do our normal analysis. So you can see this was the low that we wanted to see price break. It did break. It sourced from up here. So this is our high to our low. Okay. So again, what we map out is our premium levels of supply. Number one. And we can say the extreme up here is number two. So these are the two areas that we could see price tap into. You want to see at least hit the EQ of this daily swing range. This looks the more probable zone. Obviously, it could come up to the extreme if it really wants to. Highly doubt it, but we'll see. The reason I say highly doubt it is because if we are very momentous in this bearish trend, it's highly likely we're going to come up this area without pushing higher. So yeah, I'll be looking for sells when we come into this level. Take it down, take out this liquidity we can see at the bottom. And it could be a really good move on the horizon for NU. But apart from that, until we see some developments early next week, there's not really much to go off at the moment. We could look for some buys into the premium supply, because we have actually broken structure, or we're about to. So if we break this level, that's bloody magnet. If we break this level, then I'll probably look at maybe doing some buys into this area. Only reason for that is because it does, demand is clearly in control at the time being. And the next probable area where we could see some reaction is this premium supply up here. So that's what I'll be on the lookout for this week, guys. Hope you had a fantastic weekend and are ready for the week ahead. And until then, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.